Give it a ballsy balls. Give it a ballsy balls. No, yeah. Why did you leave me?
Hey, boss.
Hello you beautiful people and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the one, the only, Francis of the Filth, aka JOJI. George Miller is a Japanese singer, songwriter, producer and former internet legend known as Filthy Frank. I would say this needs no introduction, however it is awfully surprising just how many people aren't aware of Miller's internet career as Frank prior to becoming a full-time musician. For example, I had a friend round my flat a few weeks ago and I asked them, hey, do you listen to JOJI? To which she responds, only a couple of popular ones. So I say, are you aware of Filthy Frank? To which she replies, no. Should I? Am I supposed to know? With a big grin on my face, I wheel over to my desk and I load up Filthy Frank TV. They were totally shocked and was not convinced at all that these were the same people. And this is very ironic considering it was the other way around in the beginning of George's career. Everybody who knew Frank didn't know JOJI, even though George was trying to push his music to the forefront of its presence very early on, dating all the way back to the likes of Medicine, released in 2014, whilst the early SoundCloud scene was lively. When George's alter ego Frank and Pink Guys started to blow up on YouTube, it began to take over his life as a whole, and was even taking a toll on his health. For those who don't know, George suffers from a brain condition that causes him to have stress-induced seizures. He stated a lot of this came from doing the Filthy Frank show. However, when he made this statement, he was still very early on in his internet fame before going mega viral. With this in mind, he had a choice and continued to go on with these anti-PC characters until he would reach such a high point of success, accumulating millions of views and subscribers, that he had to seriously consider whether he was going to continue doing what the fans wanted or his true calling, music. It's at this point in 2017 that George released an album titled Pink Season under the alter ego Pink Guy, a gateway into allowing George to start being more public with his music presence, all whilst keeping the beloved characters alive. However, it wouldn't be much longer until the Filthy Frank TV show came to a complete and total end. George's last upload on the Filthy Frank channel would be released later in 2017 on the 27th of September, Francis of the Filth. This video concluded the narrative of the Filthy Frank universe and left fans devastated. However, it would only be a few years' time until George had completely transformed his identity into a full-time artist and would go down to create some of the most beautiful music we have ever heard. Released only a few months after his last upload on the Filthy Frank channel, In Tongues is a somber mix of contemporary R&B, soul, lo-fi and hip-hop, containing some of JOJI's most stripped-back work in his discography. Once the die-hard YouTube fans heard this album, they realised just how serious George was about music. A comment I saw on one of Frank's videos really made me laugh. It reads, "I'm glad the channel ended. He made us laugh as kids and cry as adults." Which is a perfect analogy. This album explores themes of heartbreak, loneliness, and struggle with self-alignment and identity. Tracks such as I Don't Want to Waste My Time and Will He are perfect examples of the heartbroken ballads on this album. Tracks such as World Star Money incorporate ukulele and a mixed down sample that is just audible enough to be subjective to the listener. It could be interpreted as a fight or argument, or some fans on the JOJI subreddit suspect this to potentially be a World Star fight, which would make sense. One of the main reasons I love JOJI is for his nihilistic lyricism. The unpolished production value on In Tongues add to the raw and stripped back atmosphere. Moving on to JOJI's next and possibly most notable record, Ballads 1, released just a year after In Tongues. This album brings a much more polished and crisp production, heavy synth experimentations, and some features such as Trippy Red, paying somewhat homage to the roots of the SoundCloud scene. This album features some of JOJI's most most popular songs, Slow Dancing in the Dark and Test Drive. The titles of these tracks are just as beautiful as the instrumentation. I love how much JOJI embraces piano on this album, and a lot of the melodies have heavily inspired me with music production as an aspiring content creator and musician myself. JOJI takes things one step further with his 2020 album Nectar, one of my favourite album covers of all time. This album takes the elements of synths, piano and strings and delivers some of the most cinematic and glamorous chord progressions from his entire discography. The opening track, Ill, followed by Modus, are perfect examples of this, Ill being my favourite album opener from JOJI. This album also has some of JOJI's highest performing tracks such as Gimme Love and Sanctuary, once again pushing the barriers as his career develops further. This brings us on to his most recent album, Smithereens. Smithereens consists yet again with a couple of JOJI's most popular songs, Glimpse of Us being his most popular track to date and probably his best. Die For You also being on this album. JOJI's career has been a constant uphill, which he deserves in full. Since Ballads 1, JOJI has released an album every 2 years, and with Smithereens being released in 2022, we can only hope that a new album is on the way this year. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, please drop a like and subscribe. I am so passionate about making content and want to make this my full-time career, so all of your support means the world. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and with that being said, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.